All praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Lakaha, Kadash, and the Bahana to the elder and the apostles of the Timison who do well. A peace, blessing, and salutation to you, Akim, who are pushing this truth to the four winds of the heaven and beyond the forefront of this spiritual war, and to make sure Jerusalem is established as a praise. And here on yes again, as in the days of old, so it is another a lesson through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yashai, and the cue of this lesson will be based upon the performance of last year on the front line, man. As you know, the way the Most High sang the praise of last year, any prophecy. And when you compare and what is they doing on the front line, you kind of think, man, this is a guy, man. Amen. Because, amen, even the Most High, man, gave praise to Russia, man. See? And that make you understand that Russia will be the guy for the job, the light guy for the light job, man. But through the war in Ukraine, man, you have certain brothers who basically have lost faith on Russia. And when you really examine what's going on the front line, you kind of think, man, we have another 20 years to stay here, man. Waiting for Russia to be up to par, because if they can't even occupy Ukraine, will they be able to go against NATO, man? See? So that is a sentiment which is out of there, man. And actually, that's a wicked spirit. See? That's a low-key demon like there, man. See? That's why, man, this lesson will be entitled Losing Faith on Russia is losing faith on prophecy. Because through the spiritual lenses of prophecy, Salakia, the spiritual lenses of prophecy, we are able to understand that Russia will be the guy fit for that job to bring an end to the beast system, man, which is NATO and EU, and to completely annihilate the continent of the United States of America via thermonuclear weapon. But now it seems like they are dragging their feet, man. See? So you need to have faith in prophecy. Certain people, I don't know, man, but that's what the spirit is on me to say. You have people who they are actually examining the breakdown of the apostles, man. See? So I'll be reading from 2 Kings 6. I started verse 25. You know what went down in this story. This is actually one among my favorite stories, man. How prophecy unfolded, man. This is the Most High proved the long unbeliever, man, through the mouth of Elisha. See, he proved him wrong. You see, in a carnal perspective, see, you can't really see how the Most High will bring all of this thing together. How the Most High will tie all of this thing together so that it can make sense. Because right now, when it comes to the algorithm of audio 3, is kind of not making sense. See, everything is not tying together, man. I'm not saying that there is something wrong, man, but if you are not a brother who have been in this room for a couple, in this truth for a couple of years, man, it will be hard for you to see. See, so how the Most High will put all the pieces together so that puzzle can be solved, we don't know. What you need to have faith in prophecy. because the Most High have sanctified His word, man. If we are not having faith in prophecy, you see, if we are not having faith in prophecy, you are not having faith on the Most High, because the Most High have sanctified His word through His whole prophecy. It's like certain guys who don't believe that we as a prophecy, Lord willing, we are. You see, and as they say that we will go direct to the Most High. You see, the Most High will not listen to you, man, because the Most High have set order. This is the same thing here. If you don't believe Russia is a guy for the job, then hold your face. Because in prophecy you have characteristics of prophecy. You have character. Russia is the main character in this end time prophecy, man. You see? That's a major juggernaut, man, in the end time prophecy. So this 2 Kings 6:25, I will be reading this story. I started in 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, to really understand what was going on. But really the point is in chapter 7. I will be reading very quick and fast. I say, there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 4 pieces of silver, and the 4th part of a cub of dove dung of 5 pieces of silver. And the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall. There cried a woman unto him, saying, Help my lord, your king. And he said, If the Lord Hashem shall not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of a barn floor or out of a winepress? And the king said unto her, What allay thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So he boiled my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. It came to pass, when the king heard the word of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. Then he said, Power do so, and more earth to me, if the head of Elisha the son of Shaphat shall stand unto this day. But Elisha sat on his house, and the elder sat with him, and the king sent a man from before him. But as the messenger came to him, when he said to the elders, See how this son of a murderer has set to take away my head. Look, when the messenger comes, shut the door and hold him fast at the door. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him. And while he yet talked with them, behold, the messenger came down unto him, and he said, Behold, this evil is of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai. What should I wait for the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai any longer? Here comes the point. Then Elijah said, Here is the word of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai. That says the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai, tomorrow about this time shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of a barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria. And then a Lord, on whose hand the king leaned, answered the man of the Most High, and said, Behold, if the Lord would make windows in heaven, so it was practically impossible. The same way you are seeing right now, man. You are seeing like there is a dent, man, on the Russian side. Something needed to be done. You see? Something needed to be done, man, to accelerate the prophecy, man. You see? To make Russia up to par with NATO even more so. To make Russia have an upper hand, man. You see? And me thinking as a man, Russia will have an upper hand when the EU is tactically defeated. You know there is a defeat on your warfare, a kinetic warfare. You are fighting, shooting bombs, and they got defeated. There is a tactical defeat. And that's what's going on in Russia. The energy crisis, man. So you need to be patient. The energy crisis will bring a recession in Europe. And that will be the end of Europe. Certain countries in Europe will be on Russian side. You see? So that basically will be the end of NATO and EU. Then Russia will have an upper hand, man. See, so the issue in Ukraine, that was like a pressure point, man, to certain emotions that said war. See? And as you know throughout history, allies change, man. In the midst of a war, man, certain countries wake up and say, hey, man, we don't want to be on NATO anymore. We want to be on the side of Russia. That's where you get the Ezekiel 38 alliance, man. The Ezekiel 38 alliance won't be an alliance formed two leaders eating on a table, man, and talking about women and all these things. And they say, oh, you know how to put in, I like you, man, I want to be on an alliance with you. The Ezekiel 38 alliance will come with a lot of pain. Also to Russia. Actually, now you saw there's a Ukrainian, there's a Crimea bridge have been blown out, man. You see, on a fleshly level, man, you will be like, this dude, the king's messenger. You'll be like, unless the Moshe opens the windows of heaven, nothing ain't gonna happen. He took that on a carnal perspective. You see, but we brothers, we are spiritual, man. We needed to look things on a spiritual perspective, man. Losing faith on Russia is losing faith on prophecy, man. But it is things be, and he said, behold, thou shalt see it with thy eye, but shall not eat thereof. That's why this was a sin, this offense was punishable by death, man. Not having faith on your power, man. You see? And believing, and believers. That's why the scripture tell you, and all unbelievers will die. You see? He said, and there were 4 lepers, many at the entering of the gate. They said one to another, why sit we here until we die? And we say, you will enter into a city, then the famine in the city, and we shall die there. So basically, there were lepers who said, man, if we continue sitting here, we'll die. If we go into a city, we'll die. And if we sit still here, we'll die also. Now therefore come and let us fall onto the host of the Syrian. Actually, these lepers, man, they had faith. You see? They had faith, man. You see? The faith of a mustard seed, man. And then here, that's where the story gets interesting, man. I like this story, man. It inspires faith in you, man. If they save us alive, we shall live. And if they kill us, we shall but die. And they rose up in the twilight. That's a thing, man. A lot of people, they don't want to exercise faith. They always want to find the loophole. You might be the brother who is going through something, man, and you are looking for ways to get out of that problem. That's not faith, man. That's leaning upon your own understanding, man. So my question to you is, when are you going to stand still and say, man, I will trust in the Most High, man? I am not going to move on the left or on the right. You are the brother who always, when you get a problem, you turn to the brother, and that's the good thing, man. Don't just sit there and wait to die. Talk to the brotherhood if you have a problem, but not be that brother when you always get a problem, you wanna solve it through the brotherhood. That is abusing the brotherhood, man. And that boils down to not having faith. When are you gonna stand like a man and say, man, I will see this problem to the end, man? That is exercising faith. A lot of you brothers, I'm starting with myself, man. You haven't exercised faith since you came to this truth. You see, examine yourself and tell me, man. And I know you ain't gonna tell me, man. See, you haven't exercised faith. If you haven't exercised faith and you are waiting until you got trouble, then you exercise that faith. That faith have not been tried. You will be burned out, man. You can't go through that fire, man. If you got trouble, you will be burned out. You will take the more TB. See? So right now we are living on the trial time, man. There's a grace period. You are being tried. You see? You are being tried to be made ready for that final countdown, man. See? And that goes hand in hand with you believing in the prophecy, man. Not only believing in the prophecy, you need to believe in the character in the prophet, because you can't prophesy without involving the character. Let's say you go and prophesy about a war and you are not telling us this war will be fight between who and who. So what kind of prophecy? That prophecy will be hanging. That's why when we prophesy here, starting with our elders and the apostles, we tell you Russia will be the end of NATO. And it is written in the scriptures, man. So if we lose faith in Russia, then that prophecy is baseless, man. You see? He said, and when they were come to the uttermost part of the camp of the Syrian, behold, there was no man there. For the Lord had made the host of the Syrian to hear the noise of the chariot and the noise of the horse. Even the noise of the great host, they sold one to another. So the Messiah will intervene, man. And eventually Russia will rise up to his job, man. But eventually Russia also will be destroyed, man. So you need to have passion and faith, man. They said one to another, Lord, the king of Israel has hired against us the king of the Hittite and the king of the Egyptian to come upon us. Wherefore they arose and fled in the twilight and left their tents and their horses and their others, even the camp as it was, and they fled for their life. And when this leper came to the uttermost part of the camp, they went into one tent and did eat and drink, and carried thence silver and gold raiment, and went and hid it, and came again and entered into another tent, and carried thence, and also they went and hid it. They said one to another, We do not well. This is the day of good tidings, and we hold our peace. So this is the day of good tidings. You see? This prophecy are coming to fruition, man. You see? Even though that we don't have the complete picture, the complete picture will be in place when the multi-B is made mandatory. You just wait and see. See? This is the day of good tidings, man. Why are you having a gloomy face? See? Why are you gloomy? See? And we hold our peace. If we tarry till the morning light, some mischief will come upon us. So if you don't have faith, man, the mischief will come upon you, man. Now therefore come, that we may go and tell the king household. So they came and called unto the porter of the city, and they told them, saying, We came to the camp of the Assyrian. Behold, there was no man there, neither voice of man, but horses tied, and others tied in the tent. So let's go down. Let's see. Let's jump to verse 16 and saying, The people went out and spoiled the tent of the Syrian, so the measure of the fine flour was sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel, according to the word of the Lord. And the king appointed the Lord on whose hand he leaned to have a charge of the gate. So he appointed, that's a trap, man. He was appointed to be at the gate. And you know all of this violence, man. And the people trod upon him in the gate, and he died. So that is a manifold fulfillment of prophecy. See, Israel got food, and they were merry, and that man died. And the man of God, he said, who spake when the king came down to him. When it came to pass, as the man of God has spoken to the king, saying, 2 measures of barley for a shekel, and a measure of fine flour for the shekel, shall be tomorrow about this time in the gate of Samaria. And that the Lord answered the man of the Most High, the prophet, the same way the Most High will answer our prayer. Actually, when we are prophesying, we are praying to the Most High. When you are saying that America will be destroyed through some intercontinental ballistic missile, you are praying to the Most High. At the same time, you are prophesying. They say, Now, behold, if the Lord Yahweh should make the windows in heaven, might such a thing be? And he said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thy eye, but shall not eat thereof. And so it fell out unto him, for the people trod upon him in the gate, and he died. The same way you will die, man. If you continue in that path, man, losing faith in the prophecy, man. So, this say shalom. I hope you brothers were edified. On to the next thing.